Hey friends, Jelena here. It is no secret to anybody that I love brunch. And as I was praying and asking the Lord to help guide me with the name for this podcast, I thought of the little saying, the ladies who lunch, which is more about like older ladies that have nothing to do that just sit around and gossip. So I'm like, what if we change this and make it more positive? So the mamas who brunch became the brand. So I want this to be something that is Bible based and something that is really fun for myself and all the ladies that I'll have on the podcast. I did want to share a couple scriptures that inspired this brand. And the first one is in Acts 2:42, and it said, "And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship and in breaking of bread and in prayers." So that really struck me. It's not just like being by yourself, right? And praying and like asking the Lord to help. This is about community and it's about bringing everybody together. It's not just in a church building, especially not. It's really what we do outside of church that's important. And I have longed to have a closer knit community with the ladies in my life and my friends, but we live all over the country and that's really difficult. So this could be a platform for that, right? To bring us all together and to hopefully connect in a greater way. So that's the heart behind the Mamas Who Brunch. It's really just a podcast that feels like a weekly brunch with faith-filled women. It's a place where we gather, spiritually speaking, around the table, where we talk with God and we discuss our life with Him, our calling, homemaking, growth, and marriage. Other topics, of course, could be motherhood or finances, and then all the day-to-day grind all in between. So I want to make sure that this doesn't come across as, I'm here as a know-it-all or an expert, because I'm not. And that's part of the reason why I created this. A lot of the podcasts I listen to are super intimidating, and they just don't really speak to me. I consider myself to be a modern woman. I am a career woman. I have a home. I have a husband. I have a 13-month-old baby. I'm just starting my motherhood journey. And I want to live as a Christian in today's modern world in 2026. I don't want to be a 1950s version of what other people think a Christian woman is, or what I call to be a conveyor belt Christian woman that's just in the kitchen making biscuits. I love to make biscuits. I love to eat biscuits. But I really just want this to be focused on like each woman's individual journey, and we're really fulfilling God's will for our lives. So the Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes 3:1, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven." This season is so special for us, motherhood. This is a time that we can raise future disciples of Christ and really share with our children what it means to be a Christian. And that's not following a pattern or necessarily checking boxes. It's building a relationship with Jesus. Jesus revealed Himself to His disciples and He taught them principles to live by. And it's our responsibility as mothers to instill that in our kids. And what I love about Jesus is that He wasn't just someone that spoke to them and then left them to go, on His own business. He was there with them over and over again. He was the truth delivered to them, not through sermons, but through His presence. He didn't leave their side. They were always together. And part of the message of this podcast is that brunch is not hurried. It's conversation, it's laughter, it's honesty. It is sharing hearts and being open and honest with those around us. Faith is also not something we just live out on Sundays, right? It's as we wake up on Monday morning late. I struggle even getting out of bed some days. I'll be honest. I work from home and I have to keep myself motivated. I have a packed schedule. I have so much to do for my job, but I also want to be present with my daughter and spend time with her in the mornings. And sometimes I just don't get it all done. But that's okay, because God understands exactly where I'm at. He understands the season that I'm in, and I can honor Him in the middle of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Faith can be lived out in my home. It doesn't have to be something that's a practice, but something that I instill as part of what I'm doing. I can keep my mind on the Lord at all times. And being a homemaker to me doesn't mean to shrink yourself or to be less than. If you feel like the Lord's called you just to stay at home, that is a wonderful honor and a privilege. It's also a wonderful honor and a privilege to have a career and to do both. And that's the season that I'm in and the chapter that I'm in. My father-in-law recently gave me a wooden plaque for Christmas, and it was a scripture from Proverbs 31, which I know this is like a common chapter, but verse 27 says, "She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness." This is not passivity, this is purpose. And the Mama Sue Brunch podcast, I want this to be a place where we talk about building a home and building a life, not necessarily just following a pattern that we see other people and other women doing, but really being the woman that God designed us uniquely to be. And that's my prayer for myself. I want to fulfill his perfect will in my life. And I hope that this encourages you to also do the same. So just wanted to give a little overview and a bit more detail about this podcast and where the Lord has inspired me. I look forward to continuing conversations and encouraging you and being encouraged through the process. Thank you for listening.